welcome or welcome back to my channel where I like to bring you guys along with me as I navigate my faith, fitness, and financial journeys. So today, before I got into all of that, I briefly just wanted to talk about my vision board in quarter 1. So there's quite a few things that happened this past week that I felt are going to better prepare me for the rest of the quarter and things just to be mindful of. So this year I took the approach that I wanted to create vision boards for the quarter and not necessarily for the year. Now, while I do have my goals for the year, I just hone in on what I want to accomplish over the next 12 weeks. This is something that I adopted from the 12-week year, and I wanted my vision board to mimic that, as well as the weekly accountability meetings that I have for myself in regards to my finances. With that being said, I just feel that if you're constantly reminded and you constantly have a visual of the things that you said that you're going to do, there's either going to be two things. You're going to come to the realization that you don't want those things because you're not actively trying to pursue those things, or you are going to do your best to achieve those things because it's subconsciously getting implanted in your brain because you're seeing it day in and day out. First thing that I wanted to talk about is self-care. Excuse me, these facials. Now, there's still a little work that I have to go, but like this is like bare face. Things that I think have been serving me and doing me justice throughout these past few weeks. One, I have been doing my weekly facials. Past week I did a gel mask and my face looked like glass. I did a gel mask that I had to peel off, and I haven't done one of those in who knows how long. So self-care is going great. I didn't actually get a chance to declutter my balcony storage, but that is something that I still am keeping on my radar for me to accomplish at some point before this month is over. But with the self-care, I'm realizing that like I'm really enjoying spending that hour or so on the designated day each week doing that. But I also am noticing that I'm spending a little bit more time on my morning routine as well as my night routine. It'll probably take me like 5 minutes, and then if I want to do something a little bit extra, it will take me 7 minutes. But one of the things that I want to talk about in skincare is that you have to figure out what works best for your skin. For the longest time, I've been using Lush products, and I'm definitely one of those people. If it works, I'm going to continue using it. I'm not interested in trying out new products just to see if those work as well. But when you find things that work for you, make sure that you keep those things. Now, I've been using Lush products since 2014 realistically, and honestly I actually want to say 2013. I had a friend who used to work for Lush, and I met her at this summer program and she introduced me to them, and since then I've consistently been using their products. Now, while I've used a variety of their products, and no, this is not sponsored, wish it was, but the products that tend to work best for me, I use their toner religiously, I use their moisturizer religiously, I use the Cosmetic Glad. I used to use something else, but I can't think of the name right now. And the toner, I use the tea tree water. I used to use a different toner. I think I used to use Breath of Fresh Air toner when I first started, but I switched over to the tea tree, and that's been responding really well to my skin. And as of more recently, I've been using two of their, one is a serum, which is Full of Grace, and then the other one is a new one that I just got about 2 weeks ago, which is their facial oil, and those in combination with a few other things that I use. Now, in general, I don't use many products for my face. I have the toner, I have a moisturizer, I have acne gel for when things pop up every now and then. That's a PCA one. I get that from Massage Envy. It does cost about $50, but it does last me a long time. I typically don't have breakouts or anything like that. And then I recently started using, like in the past 3 or 4 months, I recently started using vitamin C oil, the By Nature. Previously to that, I used to use the Jan Marini one from Massage Envy as well. Works really well, smells great. Costs $150, so I haven't been feeling like spending the $150 on it to go and get it. But soon here, probably next quarter, I will go out and get that as soon as I finish the By Nature one that I have right now. But I say all that to say, start where you are. If that's something that's on your list of things to do, just start off small. Like, just focus on what your morning routine is, and then eventually, you know, add in your night routine, and then eventually add in facial. So I think the optimal level of self-care in regards to my skin that I would get to would be me doing a long extended version of the skincare process once a week, somewhere like a medium level where I just have on a sheet mask, some kind of under eye jellies, maybe some lip mask, and then on a day-to-day basis just make sure that I'm actually doing my morning and nighttime skin routine. There are a few days where I just happen to miss, like vice versa, either my day or my night, because I'm just kind of in a rush and I just kind of do something quick and out the door. But it takes time. A few years ago, I'm gonna insert a picture on the screen, don't talk about my hair, but a few years ago, I think it probably like 8 or 9 years ago, I remember I was in North Carolina, and my body was reacting to becoming a vegetarian, and then also to the different atmosphere that is out there as far as like humidity, all this other stuff, which is very different from my life here in Vegas. I was born and raised here. So I just had a lot going on, and my skin to this day probably had the worst, most severe breakout. And I want to say I broke out like that entire summer for that most part. Taught me a few things. One, I have to use the products, you know, that you have at the moment. At that time, I was using Clean and Clear, and for the longest time, I was using Clean and Clear facial products before I transitioned into the Lush products. Later that summer, I added in some of the Lush products, like their Fullism. It's a face and body like soft exfoliant. You can use it daily, but that and mostly just Clean and Clear. And I didn't use anything else because I didn't know anything else to use. So I would just like wash my face, and then I would use a toner, and then I would moisturize my face, and that was all. But throughout that, like probably towards the end of the summer, my face cleared up, but I had these hyperpigmentation marks from the breakouts. But one, it taught me quite a bit about like confidence and just, you know, being comfortable in my own skin and not letting that limit me. But two, it also made me research a little bit more about establishing a skincare routine and looking to see how my face was actually reacting to these products. Like, was I putting the products on and it seemed okay in like the first 15-20 minutes, but then as the day progressed, like, did my skin become oily, did it become dry, or there's certain areas of my skin that I was experiencing more breakouts, and then in conjunction with like being hormonal, and then like, as I said, like atmosphere, and then like face charts I kind of got into a little bit as well at that time, is where it's like, hey, if you're breaking out like along your jawline, what does that mean? If you're breaking out in the middle of your forehead, what does that mean? And then when you're on your period, you tend to break out here. When you probably have a dirty phone or your pillowcases all aren't that clean, you're probably going to break out in this particular area. And then also, of course, diet played a huge role in that too, because my body was going through a lot and releasing toxins. And I'm happy about where I'm at right now, about how my skin looks, how it's reacting to the products that I have, but also too, I know that I don't want to overload my skin, even though my skin is reacting well to those things. So while I do want to add in another day to my skincare products, one, I just don't want to put anything extra on my plate when I've already established a few things that I want to do. And then two, I just want to give my skin time to adjust. So I've been doing this for the past few weeks, so I just want to make sure that everything's on the up and up before I start adding in these different things. And that's another piece of advice that I would give you guys, is if skincare is one of those things, is to slowly add new things into your skin regimen. Don't go out and add 6 new things at once, and then when they all don't perform the way that you want them to perform, you really don't know which product is causing your skin to act that way, because you've added in too many things at once. So, you know, at the bare minimum, people do suggest that you just have a toner, a moisturizer, retinol, or which retinol is for nighttime, and then daytime hyaluronic acid. So, you know, cleanser I feel plays a huge role in everything. I am using the Hydra Boost cleanser, and then as well as the Clinique, the one with the pink cap. I use that one. But that's how my skincare journey is going. As far as my finances, I did hit my goal this month of contributing $2,500 to my Wells Fargo credit card. I'm kind of deciding if I'm just gonna pay off the balance or if I am going to take the money from my emergency fund and then just replenish my emergency fund on the back end. And there are certain times that I do that, but at the same time too, there still is some type of emotional connection that I have to a certain amount of money that I have in my emergency fund that I would like to keep over there, that gives me a sense of financial peace. So at this rate, it's just like, oh, okay, well, you'd rather pay X amount of dollars in interest versus just taking the money from over here and paying it off the balance. And that is true for the moment. How much longer, I don't know, but at the same time, I would rather have this peace than pay $300 in interest right now. And that's me, that's my philosophy. So, you know, everybody has their own philosophy about how they want to handle their finances. But other things that are going well is weekly accountability meetings for my finances. So I do that, and I just look over my account balances, what goals I want to accomplish for the next upcoming week before I have my next weekly accountability meeting, things that I need to do financially as far as like making certain transfers, or I'm in the process of switching over my Roth to Vanguard, so I want to take that a little bit more seriously. I had signed up for Vanguard quite a while ago, but then they told me that there were a few things that I had to do before they could really transfer my Roth over from the previous company, and I just never got around to doing that. So I want to get all that squared away before the end of the month. And then savings is something that I still contribute to while doing this. Now, is it much? No, it's not much. It will just be $50 a month to my traditional savings account, and then it's about $500 every pay period that goes from my regular checking and savings account over to my high yield saving account, which is where my emergency fund is stored at the moment. So my mantra for this year is you can do it all, so I choose. So within that, I'm doing quite a few things all at the same time. So in the past, I was just like, either I have to save or I have to pay off debt, and I found myself kind of conflicted trying to do both at the same time. So I decided I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to make excuses. I'm just going to allocate my finances in those particular places. In these past 3 weeks, things have been working out just fine, and I'm just like, wow, what have you been doing the last year? Why you've been picking and choosing and doing that. But with that also being said, as I said, there are times where I will pull from my emergency savings to go towards something in the right now and then replenish it on the back end. But I'm hoping to get to this point towards the end of the year where that is not the case. So when I get into just focusing on building my emergency fund back up to my designated number, I feel that I will no longer like pick and choose between the savings and that, because typically that's not something that I would do. But as I said, I have this threshold, as long as my account doesn't drop below this amount of money, then I'm okay kind of making those transfers periodically to my traditional checking account. But other thing that I wanted to talk about is going to be the fitness aspect of things. So I was doing really good all this week with the exception of one day. So one day I consumed 2,400 calories. Now with my friends, I had a drink, had like an appetizer, and then we went and had dinner after we had went out. So that really put me over, and things are gonna happen. I was okay with the outing. What I wasn't okay with is how many calories I actually consumed for that day. So if I had consumed somewhere around 2,000 calories, then I would have been perfectly okay, because that is still below my maintenance calories. So maintenance calories for me is 2,100. So I would have been like, oh, okay, I went over. But because I was at 2,400, I'm just like, okay, like I really have to do better when I do decide to go out too, because yes, I want to go out and have a fun time with my friends, but at the same time too, my fitness goals I feel need to take a little bit more priority in that aspect. And the point is, I could have did both, and because I didn't properly plan about what I was gonna be getting, then I failed to do both, and that's okay, you know, just an improvement to make for the next time. This is my numbers charted for this week. I wanted to be at 166, but I started the week off at 167, and then I ended the week off at 167.4. So I've noticed that as I'm weighing myself every day, it does make me quite conscious about how many calories I'm consuming, as well as the fact that I'm counting calories, but as I'm choosing stuff, because I'm one of those individuals where I tend to snack out of boredom, and late night, because I'm up most nights, I'm just like, now am I eating because I'm hungry, or I'm eating just for the sake of eating, to go in the kitchen and do that? So that too is something to keep in mind. But I did just come from the gym today, so I have consistently been hitting the gym 4 times a week. The highlighted times are the days that I actually go to the gym. So I'm glad with that, because my main goal for fitness this month was, one, just to increase my boxing sessions to twice a week, and I have been able to do that most weeks. And then the other thing was, my stretch goal was to go to the gym 4 to 5 times a week. So I have consistently been going 4 times a week, and I've been feeling great. I've been running into quite a few people from work too. So I mean, everybody's out at the gym. It's January. Kudos for those of you making that commitment. But overall, I feel good. I expect better results from myself this upcoming week. If I could get to 165, that was my goal for this week, but I obviously blew that. But if I could get to 165 and maintain that throughout the week, I will be perfectly okay with that being another goal for myself within the already automatic goal. I did insert the Foodie Fit, which is the meal service that I actually buy from on my work days, and then when I'm not at work, I just make food, or I will just snack throughout the day around the house or stuff like that. But you guys, that is all. Oh, last thing. So this faith-based journey that I'm on, my daily devotional is going well. I'd say probably out of the week, I was on probably 5 out of those 7 days. So if I could get to just automatically waking up, coming to my office, reading my daily devotional, journaling, and then going into those different pockets that I talked about from the 5 a.m. club, that would be ideal for me. So that's still something that I'm working on. I find myself laying in bed a little bit longer than I would actually like. And then when I do get up, I feel that coming in and like getting on my walking pad or doing yoga, like, it's still quite a challenge for me. So this week my goal is to do better. So hopefully I do that all 4 days, and next week I will have more to catch you guys up on. But as usual, I want to thank you guys so much for taking time out of your day to watch my video. I hope you enjoyed it, and don't forget to take time to enjoy your own journey, and I will catch you guys in the comments into the next video. Bye.